Hello again. It's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have chosen to join us. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post, and boy, I'm telling you what, when Pennsylvania holds a season opener, they ain't as scared to come out and watch it, are they? This is two now with Lincoln.
It is so true. I have absolutely loved seeing everyone's pictures, and you'll see them here in the Tweet Your Seats coming up later. But Pennsylvania, thank you for showing up and showing out, because Lincoln, phenomenal.
Unreal.
Port Royal Speedway, phenomenal. Absolutely incredible.
Like Lance Dewey said, that's like the Tuscarora 50, which is the biggest one of the year. So it is unreal. So great stuff. We're off and running in Pennsylvania. That's good. And I'm telling you, Ashley, the other big racing event this past weekend is ASCS went to California. They got 2 of 3 nights in. I talked about this, Aaron, and I talked about this last week. ASCS National Tour. 5 years ago, they weren't in Pennsylvania, they weren't in California, they weren't here, they weren't there. They have done a great job in spreading this thing out now to become a national tour. California drivers got the upper hand a little bit, but that's part of being a national tour. That's part of that, and that'll build that rivalry. But really happy for the 360 guys with ASCS.
It is, and Aaron and I have talked about this a little bit. California is really starting to roll with their sprint cars, and, they're really putting themselves on the map. So it's really cool to see this conjunction really happening.
Yeah, the 360 program in California has been so good. It's been really good for the last number of years, and to have the national tour roll in there and to see where they stack up is great. So kudos to Emmett Hahn and his gang and everyone in California for putting this together. And hey, we are so pumped up about that. We really are. Now, we're going to go to the Hercules Tire hotline when we come back because, well, the Hercules Tire driver, Greg Wilson, he joins us next. But before that, we'll talk a little bit more about Pennsylvania, because at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway on Saturday, it was, boy, I got to get the names right here, Brandon Raymer passing Billy Dietrich. Okay, the top 5, listen to this. Brandon Raymer, Freddie Raymer, Billy Dietrich, Danny Dietrich. Top 4 are all brothers. Wayne Harper with the call. Speed Shift TV, it's our Dryden Diesel all-death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
So a battle for the lead with lap traffic in front. New leader, Brandon Raymer gets by Billy Dietrich and grabs the race lead.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit out here on MAV TV. Joining us on the Hercules Tire hotline is the driver of the Hercules Tires car, traveling America one tire store and racetrack at a time. It is Greg Wilson. Hey, Greg, how are you? Welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having us. It's been full tilt schedule already this year.
I see that. I've been looking at this and watching this, Greg. You've been doing 2 races, 2 tire stores, 3 tire stores, 1 race through the Southeast. Now you're headed to Texas this weekend and on to the West Coast. Boy, they've got you stepping and fetching out there.
Yeah, things are, we've talked about this before, but, so fortunate, so blessed to be with a great company that believes in our race team and how we represent the company. And, the dealers have bought in, and they've really found a way to utilize our visits, and they seem to enjoy it. And we've just had a lot of interest this year. I'm thankful for it, but it makes you run ragged a little bit, but wouldn't have it any other way. And just so thankful for the dealers having so much interest, and we hope to get up to a lot of new dealers this year, and obviously this first trip is really busy.
For sure.
Interest is good, especially when it says Hercules on the side of it.
No doubt, yes.
Greg,
Yeah.
how does that work? Do you work with Hercules to determine the stops that you make? Do you work with these dealers personally? How does that work that you get these stops lined up as you're headed to racetracks?
Fortunately, Camilla at Hercules Tire and their whole marketing team, Nakia and I'm going to forget some people, but they just do a wonderful job. We give them a schedule, and they go to work and try to get it organized so logistically we're not backtracking. And we know at the beginning of the year, with us doing the All-Star thing, which has really helped our team, and I think it's going to continue to help our team. It allows us to do a lot in the beginning of the year and at the end of the year in some areas that we need to get to. And so we just try to logistically plan, and the dealers are great. I mean, it makes it rough. Sometimes, a weekend event would make it a lot better for them. But they work with us, and we try to make it the best event we can. And a lot of times it falls during the week on the way, or, maybe a race day when it's close, like we did one on Hattiesburg on race day, which it makes a busy day, but it worked out great. So we just try to work with each other and, do what's best for the dealers, Hercules, and our team. And, honestly, it's kind of cliche, but it really is it's teamwork and the team effort to make it all work. I mean, when we only got a day or two to work with.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you get the luxurious lifestyle of, and I think that's where we've caught you actually, you get the lifestyle of parking lot maintenance. How much fun is that? Does the fun ever wear off from maintenance in the parking lot, Greg?
Well, I mean, heck yeah, it wears off sometimes. We got tore up pretty good there last Friday, and just racing, and it took us. We raced Saturday, but still probably weren't 100% right, and so today we're going through everything. So these days, when it's normal routine maintenance and the sun's shining, you're sitting by the water. Yeah, life is grand. Yeah. But then there's the days that you're like, putting it simple. Why am I doing this? this does not make sense. But right now, I mean, we're with our buddy Danny Smith down here in Biloxi, a place we've never been. Him and Terry Gray and Jimmy Carr and them all been parking down here the last couple springs, and we came down and it's a cool area. We're right on the water. The girls are actually, I guess we're going to say they're doing gym class on the beach right now. So. But they're getting to enjoy it a little bit.
That's awesome. Even on the awful maintenance days, it still beats 9 to 5 sitting behind a desk, I'm sure.
Hey, I say this, and once again, I know I say this stuff a lot, but so lucky, to have my family with me, and Matt's been with me for a few years now, and he's doing a great job, and our race team's getting a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger. And, that makes it better. We're making strides in the right direction. It's like a puzzle. I didn't realize this when we started this a few years back, when we decided it was a great idea to own a race team, that, it takes so long to build it into something, and so many pieces to the puzzle and the amount of work. I mean, I admire people that have businesses and I mean, just any kind of business. It's a lot of work, and I don't think people really truly realize what effort it takes behind the scenes.
It's so true. And you talk about that work, Greg. It's a little different now that you're doing the All-Stars this year. Obviously, their schedule doesn't really start till April. So you had that Volusia spin. You're doing some different stuff down through the South there. How much does that benefit you, knowing that guys are maybe still sitting at home waiting for the season opener for the Ollie's Bargain Outlet Circuit of Champions to start, and knowing that you're getting that seat time, even though it is, in a 360 versus the 410?
I mean, I think anytime you can be in a race car is good. And, I get conservative and bullheaded, to be honest, and I get stuck in my ways. And the last couple of weeks we've been changing stuff up, and I think as the season goes on and we change the stuff more around when we get home, I think we can be competitive. But damn, Reitzel and Corey and, a number of the Brock, those guys are going to be tough this year, and we're doing our homework to try to get competitive.
No doubt, it is a lot of work to stay competitive, whether you're running with USCS as you have. You're going to run some World of Outlaw races coming up now as you work your way west, and then ultimately working your way back home to Ohio when the All-Stars kick it off here. We're going to step away, and when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about the All-Star season and also probably ask and see what's going on with the girls. Your daughters are are two characters, and I just want to see what they're into. So, Greg, you hang in there with us. Everyone else, stick around. More with Greg Wilson in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV. Our favorite time of the week because we're talking sprint car racing, and one of our favorite people is who we're talking with on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Greg Wilson joins us. And Greg, prior to this, we talked a lot about everything from working in a parking lot to scheduling appearances and races. One good part about it, and you had indicated, is great being with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, because during the bread and butter of your season, the meat potato of your season, you know where you're going, and that kicks off in a few weeks up in Attica when things really kick off. How do you feel about your season? What's new with your team? What's new with your program? How are things looking for you there?
We've talked about this over the period of the last few years, and really excited to be. We went back to the All Stars last year. It was still kind of recovering from being gone for 3 years, whether it be shop, home, all of it, just life. And finally, about the middle of the season, it started going a little bit better again. Kind of learned some things some of the key things that we really needed to work on was get some experienced help to be around some. And we've talked about this before. One of the biggest struggles that anybody has is creating a good team. And, so we worked hard on trying to do some of that. We chased some stuff around with the team, cars, some motor stuff. I think it's, until you get your racing, it looks like it's going to be good. We went with Volusia with the plan of, just kind of making it through and not getting ourselves in a hole by blowing up a bunch of motors and stuff like that. But we really worked on our car, and I think there's some good runs in our future. I really feel like we're making the right steps and excited to get back All-Star racing. It's going to be a tough crowd this year. We got a good group of cars, very competitive. 10, 12 cars are going to follow them, and it's going to be tough. But that's what makes every team better.
I want to take what you just said there, because you said you had to be very careful at Volusia with your equipment. That being said, when you start with this All-Stars deals, obviously the competition is going to be tougher this year. And they've also announced that they're doing a much larger points purse for the end of the year. Now, we all know we can't start talking about points because it's basically chasing unicorns, but we all know racers set themselves up to win races and ultimately let the points play out. But Greg, do you have to, knowing that the points are having such a huge purse this year, obviously you want to win races, but is there a kind of a mental game that you play through that, trying to be conservative and smart with how you go about things each race?
Well, I guess putting it real simple, I feel like in the position our team is in, we take care of our stuff. We have very nice equipment, very nice program that we've worked every year to build. We don't have a budget to go to Volusia County and blow up 4 motors. Okay, we got a 90 race schedule, and our goal, as a team, and with our partners Hercules Tire, Logistics, BNC Hydraulics, we all talk. And, we want to be competitive doing the All-Star thing and try to win a championship. And, that's the financials. That's, a team goal and, an effort to run up front every night, an effort to be in the top 3 in the points, and that's our goal. So, we're kind of basing what we're doing on that, and that's our primary. And then obviously the big races, you want to have fresh engines come time that it's Kings Royal Week. It's Knoxville Nationals, the big races that pay a lot of money, that carry a lot of press. The ones that you want to have a feather in your cap to speak of at the end of your career, you got to make sure you position for that. And I've had to learn that. I've struggled with that. Luckily I've had mom and dad taught me certain things when I was young, and camp and different people, and you pick out things and you make mistakes, and it's not as easy as it looks, I can tell you that.
You spent last year, the first part of it, just recovering from the World of Outlaw Tour. Working with the All-Stars, it has to be different, and it has to be nice to be able to roll back into your shop occasionally, though. How was that for your first year back with the All-Stars last year, after 3 years of all parking lot maintenance all the time, it seems like?
Well, that's where I felt like we had, we needed to get back in the shop, run the shock dyno, work on things, try to learn. The tires have changed 5 or 6 years ago. We've never really caught up with it. The one thing that's going to be pretty cool is it's really looking like that my buddy Bonds is going to come help us for all of the All-Star schedule. We're still working on putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, but pretty excited to get back home and do a little racing with him and have a different view and be able to just kind of drive the race car and help with some of the maintenance versus kind of doing everything. And
wow, I hope you can pull that all together with Bonds. Bonds, Ashley, as you know, but those watching along the way, Bonds, longtime crew member, crew chief for Jack and Sheldon Hodenshield, and he actually, when Sheldon was running his own team on the tour, Bonds was the guy. So you just can't beat good help. And Ashley, you guys know you get good people around you with your race team, and you just got to have that. So that's pretty cool.
And Greg, it's been remarkable to watch you these last how many years kind of navigate your own way with everything, with what you do with Hercules and running your race team, being a crew chief and driving the car has been incredible. But how much will this really kind of take a weight off your shoulders and maybe even make you more focused in areas that maybe kind of been pushed to the wayside?
Well, that's I need to do that. I mean, at the end of the year 2 years ago, I had to stop and look myself in the mirror and say, hey, listen, you're going to kill yourself. You keep trying to do all this stuff. And, but then again, you got to find a way to make it work to get to the point you can do this. Like financially, I couldn't do all of that before. I had to continue to build my team and accumulate and put the right pieces in place. And I made some mistakes. So I had to recover from that. And, and then it's hard to be a good dad and a husband sometimes because you got so much on your mind. And, I feel like that just by putting people around me that I can trust. I've had really good friends. A good friend of mine, Roger Benson, has been telling me he's in the same boat I'm in with what he does. And, we just got to trust some people and get good people around us to kind of help us get to where we need to be or want to be, our goals.
No doubt. It is great. Always great to catch up with you, Greg. Thanks for the time.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for being great partners with Hercules. And, it's great to work with you guys, and we appreciate all you do for the sport.
That is Greg Wilson, Hercules driver on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Love his family. Love his story. Such a good guy, such a good family, that is for sure. We need to step away. Our Tweet Your Seat Tweets of the Week are coming up next.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it is your time of the week. It's time for the Tweet Your Seat Tweets of the Week. And like we said earlier, Port Royal Speedway, God bless you, PA Posse fans, kicked it off with their season opener Sunday afternoon. The tweets come from two different Marks, Ashley, two different Ryans, Andy, Danielle, and Nigel. Absolutely love this. 46 sprint cars showed up Sunday afternoon, and I think they had 55 for practice the day before on Saturday. Absolutely incredible. Corey Eliason put on a whale of a show all day long Sunday. His career first win at Port Royal Speedway, so pretty incredible stuff there. And he was followed by Brent Marks, Logan Wagner, Lance DeWeese, and Anthony Macri.
Yeah, really happy for Brent Marks. They struggled in Volusia, but boy, they really had Barry Jackson and the boys got that thing tuned up really good for Brent, so good to see that. On Saturday afternoon, we talked about this with our Dryden Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week. This is, how do I say that, man? That rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Good. Absolutely. The fabulous Lincoln Speedway, Christian Derrick, one slow olds. My buddy K-Rob and Rich sent this in. Brandon Raymer, third career win. And we talked just a little bit about this. Brandon Raymer, Freddie Raymer, Billy Dietrich, Danny Dietrich, and Brock Zierfoss. Wow, that's quite the top five. Really, really neat stuff at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway.
Now it's off to Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour Friday night at Merced Speedway. Brad Sweet. Can't say I'm surprised there. Led flag to flag. And he was followed by Shane Golobic, Blake Kahn, Carson Macedo, and Andy Forsberg.
Yes, well, and you mentioned Andy Forsberg. They moved to Sunday night to Petaluma Speedway, the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. And, Andy Forsberg, not a shocker. And that's not even his good track. Well, he's good at every track, okay? That's not Placerville, where it's like the Andy Forsberg. Well, no, it's not. Well, there's a couple guys that can claim victory lane. But anyhow, Andy became the 151st driver to win a national tour race. This was a California podium. Shane Golobic second, the Shark, Sean Becker third, Sam Haferteep Jr. fourth, and Justin Cox fifth.
Now rolling down under.
Oh,
they're wrapping it up. It's all over.
They're sad in down under land. They're sad
True.
down there.
The season finale at Western Sprint Speedway. Midget winner was Zach Dahm.
Yeah, Zach Dahm, man, he's a great racer. Great young kid. Oh, great racer.
Now all you guys need to travel across the pond and start sprint car season over here with us.
Absolutely. Now, a couple of other items here. Your buddy, Linton Jeffrey. How about this? Man, look at that. Now, that is old school traveling to Port Royal Speedway.
That's right.
And that's not like he's traveling from Mifflintown.
No, Iowa's a little bit farther away.
Iowa to the Speed Palace in an open trailer.
Pretty cool stuff.
Really cool stuff. And finally, love this one. Look at this. This is in Elmira, New York. Winged carts on ice. How about that? Now,
We need to go see that sometime.
That would be cool.
I would love to watch that.
Then they come out, they don't bring out the track, they bring out the Zamboni to fix the racetrack. I want to drive the Zamboni. Hey, yes, and there you have it. Our tweet, your Seek tweets of the week.
And Steve singing. We need a hashtag for that, apparently.
No, we don't need a hashtag for that. We need less of that ixnay on the singing. All right, let's step away. More Wing Nation coming up in just a moment.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, rolling along. We had that indoor racing at Elmira. If you're in the Syracuse area and watching this on Saturday, we're going to wrap up our TQ season with indoor auto racing tonight on the fairgrounds there. Man, the indoor stuff is fun. I mean, I love my outdoor racing, but our indoor stuff is fun. Now, speaking of outdoor racing, okay, we talked about at the top of the show.
Right.
Lincoln, you packed the joint for their opener. Port Royal last weekend for their opener. Tomorrow, Sunday, Williams Grove. We need to see the same crowd there
3
at
for
Williams
3.
Grove.
Pennsylvania,
Yes.
let's go 3 for 3 here.
Absolutely, and it's really cool. Williams Grove opening up is always just one of those benchmarks. That's the grand lady, the historic track up there, and just going to be fun to see what happens over there at Williams Grove.
Well, it just goes to show you how important our off season is. You've got to build that cabin fever, that drive, that will, that want to get back to the track. So to see the standing room only for the lines to get into both Lincoln and Port. Yeah. I'm sure we'll see the same from Williams Grove.
And talking about cabin fever, the World of Outlaws have had a weird form of cabin fever.
Yes, they have.
Because with the schedule change, and we had Brian Carter on at the end of last year, with Las Vegas Cup race moving earlier in the schedule, we didn't have Atlanta in there and everything else. They've had a month off. Now, they're in Texas racing this weekend, but really, really strange to run Volusia and then have a full month off.
And we talked about it with Aaron, how Shark Racing got to run in Pennsylvania a few weeks and build their notebook at Lincoln, which they typically wouldn't get to do. So,
Brad picked up and won the ASC race. He was in another car, but went and did that. So some of the other ones have as well. So how about that? Good stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Hey, we appreciate Greg Wilson for joining us, and thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.